So, Bill, thanks for taking the time to talk with me. We're here with Bill Kimberlin from Medicare.com at LeadsCon. Got some questions for you. How do you feel the regulatory changes are impacting the healthcare and lead gen space?
Well, primarily in the way that the lead is generated. I believe that the compliance and the rules on how leads are generated within at least the senior market, you cannot do incentivized offers like a free iPod if you sign up for this. You can't do, you've got to get permission to be contacted. So the senior has to opt in to be contacted for an offer. So, and that opt-in really should come with an IP address to prove and validate that you did receive proper permission. And while it may be generic to one vertical like diabetic supplies without having to say a company name, a lot of the companies are doing call verification, and when they do, they do brand it for the provider at that time. But it's more expensive to generate compliant leads. It's more difficult, and that does make it harder to compete against some of the companies who aren't doing that way. You're not allowed to cold call anyone. So part of my hope for the industry is that people do get knowledge and learn about that as much as possible, so that we can regulate ourselves as an industry before, as we discussed earlier, before the federal government decides to regulate it for us. And if they do, if you think it's hard now, it's going to get much, much more difficult if they decide to take over.
So do you think that those same kinds of regulatory issues will expand into the regular healthcare and health insurance market as well, now that the government's being more involved there?
I don't think so, because the reason this is so regulated is because it's funded by the government. So in the under 65 markets, unless it's a state unless it's a state or government funded program, you're probably not going to see that much regulation.